He's back for another in-studio performance. Nick Gusman is going to be playing August the 28th at Joe's Cafe. You don't want to miss it, and you don't want to miss this interview on St. Louis in Tune. Welcome to St. Louis in Tune, and thank you for joining us for fresh perspectives on issues and events with experts, community leaders, and everyday people who make a difference in shaping our society and world. I'm Arnold Stricker, along with co-host Mark Langston, who is on assignment, and he is on assignment for the second time that our guest is in studio, which I'm going to have to get on him about that. That's just, he's missing a good time here. We're glad that you joined us today, folks. We want to thank our sponsor, Better Rate Mortgage, for their support of the show. You can listen to previous shows at stlintune.com. Please help us continue to grow by leaving a review on our website, Apple Podcast, or your preferred podcast platform. Our thought to ponder for today, and there's always things that you need to consider each and every day. In the middle of difficulty lies opportunity. In the middle of difficulty lies opportunity. And that comes from Albert Einstein, and certainly he knew difficulty in his life. We always think that he was so bright that everything came easy for him, but sometimes difficulty provides opportunity in which you can really make a difference. And in his life, that was the case. Nick Gusman is our guest. He's back in studio, and he's going to be performing at Joe's Cafe August the 28th, 7 p.m. The doors open, 8 p.m. is the show. Nick, welcome back to St. Louis in Tune. We are so glad to have you here.
I am so happy to be here hanging with you again. It was so fun last time, and I've been looking forward to it.
Yeah, we had a recording. Folks, if you want to listen to that, you can go back to our archives, go in the search engine and put Nick Gusman in there, or you can put Coyotes in there, and you can find the show. We recorded last December, and you were getting ready to release a new album. That was album number 4?
That was album 3.
3, okay, and now you're going to be releasing album
number 4. I do perform a few of the songs with my band, the Coyotes, but this one's kind of a more solo endeavor. It's a double album.
A double album.
Double album. 9 songs on Volume 1, 9 songs on Volume 2. And so Volume 1's coming out, this coming Friday, August 22nd.
And is this a vinyl? Can people get this on?
It will be eventually. I'm gonna wait to package it until Volume 2 is done and released, so that way, so it all can come out together.
But people will be able to order on the website, or they'll be able to listen to it on Spotify or Bandcamp or SoundCloud.
So Volume 1 is coming out, like I said, this Friday. You can listen to that, and then the vinyls I'm gonna plan on having right when Volume 2 comes out.
Okay.
And then I'm going to do a solo tour and support that, and everyone can purchase that,
I want to give the website, folks, in case you have to skip out and then come back to the interview. Nick Gusman and the Coyotes.com. That's Nick, Gusman, and the Coyotes.com. So what's been going on since we last talked in December? You've been doing some tours with the group. You've been doing an individual kind of tour. Give us a little hint of what you've been doing.
Yeah, we've been, the Coyotes have been doing a lot of regional stuff, so doing places that we can get to within about 5-6 hours, mainly in Oklahoma and Indiana and Chicago and places like that. And I just returned home from England for the first time.
Blimey, wow.
It was a blast. I went to Ireland as well, but Ireland was more of a personal friend trip that I took at the tail end of my tour.
Okay.
But I spent time in Hastings and in London. I got to have some downtime in between shows and see Stonehenge and all these amazing places.
Right.
It was really an inspiring trip. And I workshopped a lot of these songs there, some for the first time on that tour. I was playing all these songs that are on this upcoming album.
So how do you arrange an England tour? And I know you're going to be doing another European tour, but do you call places up? Do they call you? Do you email them? Or how does that go? How does that happen?
If that's all I did, like I was a tour booker and I was just doing that, that would be pretty exhausting until you probably build all your network and relationships up. But it was really fun for me to do this because it was a short tour. It was a week and a half, and I just did all my own research. What I would do is I would find a venue or a list of venues that are doing folk shows or songwriter nights and things like that, and I would look at their calendar, see who seems maybe similar to me in a genre-wise, and I would message the musician. Then I'd email that venue, and if the musician got back to me and they couldn't do a show, or I would ask them, give me a recommendation on who else to reach out to. So I would just try to network through mainly the musicians, but I would find out where they're playing and work backwards like that.
That's interesting.
And it worked out. That was where I found all the shows that I booked really was through the musicians that I contacted on Instagram or emailed them.
Now, if you go back again, you've already got those contacts.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. One guy, man, I owe him really 3 shows he turned me on to.
Okay.
He was from Hastings. It's right on the southern coast there. And I stayed with him and his family, his wife and kid. I played Minecraft with his kid like one morning at breakfast, and they cooked some home-cooked meal. He really took care of me. His name is Jason McNiff, and he lives in Hastings. He's a great songwriter, a great guitar player. And I hooked up with him, and he brought me on to his Sundowner session at the Jenny Lind in Hastings, and then we played a coffee shop, and the coffee shop the next day was a real folk show. It felt like an old-school folk show. Everybody was quiet, sipping their espressos and whatnot, just hanging on every word, which is what I love.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was a really nice experience. And he was a really big help.
So you never know when there's some big record producer sitting in the sipping their espresso, listening to what's going on.
If there was, they didn't alert me. They said nothing. So I don't know if that's a good sign or a bad sign.
Maybe down the road. How were you received over there?
Really? Yeah. Not that it's extremely surprising, but they love Americana. They love folk music and stuff. And that's one thing we should talk about, too. So that's why this album's a lot different in a way. It's definitely more of a folk songwriter vibe than a rock and roll record, which is what I just released, like a country rock record.
Okay.
But man, they're really polite in Europe. Not to say that the U.S. audiences aren't polite, but over there I think it's more common in almost any circumstance. If there's a performer, people are kind of like, shh, shh. They're performing now.
There's respect.
There's a bit more... I can't say it without sounding rude or something. Because we have that here. We have listening rooms, and I play them, and they're great. But even in the bar room over there, I feel like it extends in their culture, even into the bar room in a bit. I played a bar, and people were like, shh, shut up. And I was like, wow, this is really cool.
That's great.
And they kept up the chatter, but it was like they were there for it. It was, they really enjoyed the songs, and I was really grateful. Yeah.
Now, I previously talked about, folks, we're not going to repeat things from our December conversation, but we did talk about Nick's approach to writing music and his lyrics. We talked about how he learned a new song, how he kind of had the evolution of the Nick Gusman and the Coyotes, and I really appreciate your open and honest responses there, because you are a very transparent kind of guy. You're a man of the earth. You work on old windows for a living, and that's tough. That's hard manual labor. That's you're putting some sweat into it.
It's enjoyable, though.
Yeah. Do you write music? Do you write lyrics when you're working, or do things come around for you while you're working?
Sometimes, yeah. Yeah, it's... To be honest, any manual labor job can be good for songwriting, I think.
In what way?
Because typically you'll find processes in a manual labor job. I've done various where you can tune out and just you can get into a mechanical way of almost meditation of, let's say you're sanding something. You might do that for 3 hours, and you don't really have to think about it all that much. So you could put your mind elsewhere, and it's quiet. You might even have headphones on or something to block sound out. It's really good for songwriting, I think.
That's interesting. Yeah. That's an interesting perspective. Let's talk about this album release, which is happening August the 28th. And it's going to be 7 p.m. The doors open 8 p.m. Show. Bring your own BYOB food. Also, BYOF. Please don't park on Kingsbury. And I love this. No talking over the music. That's coming from the English kind of perspective.
Yeah. Oh, I love it so much. It really. I think it creates a space for you to really connect with the audience too.
I love this thing that was written here. Nick Gusman weaves profound themes of love, identity, and freedom into lyrics about the everyday, from stray dogs to riverboats. Nick has garnered a passionate and growing fan base across the United States and beyond. And this album's called Plenty of Room. What's the reason for the name? Is that one of the songs?
It made sense to me. I don't have a fully fleshed out answer for it, but the album extended into this big thing. I didn't know that it was going to be called Plenty of Room when I first started working on the album, but when it turned into a double album, the name worked out. It's
you
like,
needed
plenty
a lot
of room.
of
We got enough room for all these songs.
Yeah.
There's no reason to cut any of them out.
Right. That makes sense.
Yeah, that's basically.
And are all of these songs your songs, or do you have some other songwriters on them?
I'm so excited that this is for the first time ever I have a cover song. And so I am playing one of Fred Friction's songs, who's a kind of a local legend. Have you ever heard of him?
I've not.
He used to own a bar called Frederick's Music Lounge, which was pretty famous around South City.
Okay.
I had never visited it. I could have. I think I was living here in the city at a time when I was old enough, I think, to go, but I just didn't know about it. And then he had Fred 6 Foot Under. He was a host of Open Mic Night. He's a great songwriter. He's always been out there participating. People look up to him. And I actually started performing one of his songs with the band and with just solo. It's called Home Sweet Home. And it's just this really funny, like, tongue-in-cheek song about the bar. And that's your home, right? For maybe the drunkard or something. Or just for the good time crew.
Kind of like the Cheers group.
Yeah, and it's a really funny song. It's on this album. And I sent him a letter, actually, because I just thought he would appreciate that, and asked him if I could cover it, and he said, heck yeah, I look forward to hearing it, and wrote me back and said, go for it.
Cool.
Yeah, my first song by another songwriter is on this one.
And is there a songwriting group that you get together with where you guys just kind of exchange lyrics or exchange ideas or talk about your songwriting techniques or etc.?
There is, and I was telling you about that. I really owe a lot to that group for a handful of these songs that are on the album, because that's one thing I think that makes this album pretty special. One of the things to me is that it's really current glimpse into what I'm writing right now. Since I took songs that I had just written weeks before in this songwriting group that I really liked, like one of them is that song I was telling you about, St. Louis Town.
Sure.
So what we do is we give each other prompts. And it might be weekly, maybe it's bi-weekly, depending on how fast the songwriting process moves for us. There's no rules. But someone will say, hey, let's write a song about your hometown. So that was mine. And I ended up, okay, here's mine for the prompt for this week. It's called St. Louis Town. And I really liked it. And I played it out a few times and people took to it. So I think a couple weeks later when I went into the studio, I was like, I'm just going to cut this song. And I showed it to the guys that have been playing with me in my trio, my acoustic trio. And it's a pretty easy song, and we just cut it together, all three of us.
Could you play it for us?
Yeah, I will.
Okay, that's cool.
You want to hear it now?
Sure, that would be great. That would be great.
Sure.
And then we're going to talk about that guitar afterwards because, wow, that's a pretty fancy pants right there. Looks great. Now, this is Arnold Stricker with Mark Langston of St. Louis in Tune. We're talking to Nick Gusman of Nick Gusman and the Coyotes. He's going to play a song. This is on the album, right?
This is on the album. A friend of mine told me it sounds like a polka, which I think is funny. I would say, when you hear this one, the whole album does not sound like this. It's a hokey but a cute song. I love this song. It's just a more humorous, it definitely embodies the album in spirit with this song.
And it's entitled?
St. Louis Town. All right. Wake up, traffic song, hear the St. Francis church bell gong, see the pretty girls on Cherokee, smell the hot mash from the brewery, home run jam, hot dog play, walking downtown, spare some change, Mississippi River, cold dog bark, thought I was lost till I seen that arch. Good night, old Irene, Natchez whistle, pork and bean, buttery burger in a coffee pot, playing Al Green on the old jukebox, casino queen, bar, 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 buy me $1,000 car, handyman, come on down, make a little dough in St. Louis town. That's St. Louis town.
Yeah. Our pistachio gallery is clapping and cheering in the background.
Heck
there.
yeah. Cool.
They're going for it. Now, that guitar is pretty fancy pants there. It looks burl maple to me, but I know you still got your grandpa's, but this is a new instrument for you, isn't it?
Yeah. I was in Gravity Strings. It's in Soulard. I go down to Soulard Market a lot. I love the market there, and I'll walk over to Gravity Strings and just pick a guitar up and play it. But that's where I get my guitar work done, too. Jimmy from there, he works on all my guitars. And this one was on the wall, and it's really interesting and pretty, I would say. And
it's well made.
Yeah, and it's a K. It's from the 50s.
Wow.
And I pulled it off the wall and was like, I'll play this one today. And I just kind of lost myself, and it was 30 minutes just playing this thing in the shop. There's no one in the shop. It was completely empty, just me and the guy behind the counter. And I finish. I get to a point where I'm like, man, I've been playing this a long time. I'm done. And then it's just quiet, and I'm just looking at it, and he just gets scribbling his notes, and he looks up, and he's like, that guitar sounds real good, man. And I'm like, yeah, it does. He's like, you play it real good. And I'm just like, I know, man. I think I need to buy it. And I just happened to have enough money to just buy it right there. And so I just took it.
It's beautifully made. It's the burl maple. It's got some almost like walnut. Gorgeous. Yeah, that's gorgeous. Walnut edging on it. And the fingerboard has got this piece running right down the middle of, I don't know, regular maple or
it's
something.
It's got a lot of wear and tear on it, too, but in a good way, which I always enjoy about an instrument.
So what do you love about this instrument?
So this is what you call an archtop guitar.
Okay.
It has these interesting-looking violin F-holes. Mm-hmm. So it creates this resonance that an archtop guitar is its own type of sound.
Okay.
It doesn't sound like anything else as far as guitars go. It has that resonance that kind of has this built-in chamber almost where it gives it a little bit of like
depth,
reverb and depth. Yeah. So that's one thing I love about it. I love the largeness of it. It actually, what I'm learning too is this sits better in the mix with when I play with my rock band, like my big alt country band. You can hear this better than any of my other acoustics.
Really?
And I think it's because it doesn't feed back as much. There's not as much space for all the other noises to enter the sound hole, reverberate and stuff. So yeah, it cuts through better, and it has a more tinier sound in a way, but it doesn't bother me. I like it. I tune it down a full step to give it a little bit more weight.
Interesting.
So this is tuned down a little deeper than a normal standard tuning right now.
Okay. Do you bring it back up when you play with the group, or do they tune down?
I play in standard with the group. Okay. I could play it like this, but I'd have to relearn every song in a different position, which would be a lot of work.
Now, what about the fingerboard on that? I know guitar players are really persnickety about the fingerboard and how it feels and the size, the depth from the fingerboard to the strings, etc.
The action on there, the action's really good, and that was another big selling point. It would be one thing if it sounded good and everything, but it played a little rough, but this thing was fully set up. They had really went through it, took the neck off, put it back on, did all the work to it. It was ready to go. It was a player's guitar already. So,
do you know the provenance behind that?
The provenance? No, yeah. I don't.
So if you take it to an Antiques Roadshow or something, they'll look at this guitar. It was Hank Williams Jr.
I don't know, but I imagine it's been around since the 50s and been really well kept and played. So somebody was gigging with it.
It's beautiful, and you do a beautiful job with it, too.
Thanks a lot.
And Grandpa's guitar is still kicking?
I recorded with that. The three guitars I used mostly on this album was this K, this 50s K, my 40s Martin, which is my grandpa's guitar. You'll hear that on numerous tracks. And then I have this Yamaha from the 70s that I really like that actually shipped from Japan. Got it from Japan.
You've got some from every 20 years, it seems like, then.
Yeah, I feel I would like a new guitar, like a 2020 guitar at some point, but I'm more partial to the vintage sound. Once the instrument reaches 40, 50 years old, it develops this like old wood sound, and like you can't really replicate it.
I guess that's why the Stradivarius violins are so expensive.
Yeah, those are like as much as houses.
Yeah.
More.
We're going to take a short break, folks. We'll be right back for our next segment. Don't go away. This is Arnold Stricker of St. Louis In Tune on behalf of the Dred Scott Heritage Foundation. In 1857, the Dred Scott decision was a major legal event and catalyst that contributed to the Civil War. The decision declared that Dred Scott could not be free because he was not a citizen. The 14th Amendment, also called the Dred Scott Amendment, granted citizenship to all born or naturalized here in our country and was intended to overturn the U.S. Supreme Court decision on July 9, 1868. The Dred Scott Heritage Foundation is requesting a commemorative stamp to be issued from the U.S. Postal Service to recognize and remember the heritage of this amendment by issuing a stamp with the likeness of the man Dred Scott. But we need your support and the support of thousands of people who would like to see this happen. To achieve this goal, we ask you to download, sign, and share the one-page petition with others. To find the petition, please go to dredscottlives.org and click on the Dred Scott Petition Drive on the right side of the page. On behalf of the Dred Scott Heritage Foundation, this has been Arnold Stricker of St. Louis In Tune. As strange as it may sound, at Better Rate Mortgage, we love talking to people about mortgages. Everyone in St. Louis promises a better mortgage rate, but what you really need to turn that perfect house into your dream home is a better mortgage. At Better Rate Mortgage, we open the door to so much more. So where are you in the home buying process? Researching? Maybe wondering how much you can afford? House hunting? Get a pre-approval from Better Rate Mortgage. Ready to buy? Our team is ready to make your mortgage process fast and easy. Whether you're purchasing your first home or taking cash out to make your dream home even dreamier, our door is open. Come on in and get started today. We'll show you how. Call Sean directly at 314-375-3293 or online at betterratemortgage.com. Remember, at Better Rate Mortgage, a better rate is just the beginning. BetterRateMortgage.com. NMLS ID 40135, an equal housing lender. Catch this song from Nick Gusman.
Why is everything so insane all the time? Why is every thought so loud? I'm hitting every roadblock, hitting every pothole, moving but I don't know how. Well, my brain is like a brisket, heart non-existent, belly so bloated, my feet are in the thick of it. I call you in the morning when I'm on the other end of this, but 3 times in a week, I'm sure you're getting sick of it. One more night to be alone, feeling like a dial tone, waited too long, no point to take the trazodone. Cigarettes and Kino, lead to the casino, speaking broken Spanish to an elderly Latino. All my bills are gonna be late anyway, just let me hit that bonus play and maybe I can afford to be gone, yeah, long gone, away from me, yeah, gone, yeah, long gone, all long gone, away from me. Side effects may include irritable attitude, loss of vision, loss of ear, and swinging every single mood. Breast joint, back pain, blood clot in the vein, constipation, muscles tight, sudden loss of appetite, lack of coordination, don't operate machinery, low-grade fever, difficult difficulty swallowing, heart attack and hiccup, indigestion flare up, tender at bumps that irritate your papilla. So don't ask me about the government or the monkey that memorized the alphabet. I don't need another thing to make me sick, and I don't need turkey full of politics. I know some folks rob you with a fountain pen, and some just say that they want to make you great again. Hey doc, how about you just help me get rid of this headache? I really want it gone. Yeah, long gone. Long gone. Away from me. Yeah, get it gone. Yeah, long gone. Long gone. Away from me.
Wow.
Was that the peanut gallery that I heard?
That was the pistachio gallery.
Pistachio gallery.
Yeah, we can't afford the peanut gallery. Plus, Mark and I love pistachios, so that's why it's the pistachio gallery.
They seem like they enjoyed it.
Tell us about that song again, Nick. And gosh, it sounds so much like Johnny Cash. I could see Johnny Cash on stage singing that song.
I love that you made that connection. I've had a couple people mention that to me, and when I was writing it, I wasn't thinking of that, but I saw it right off when people started telling me. My friend Allie, she had commented on I had posted something about the song, and she commented, it's I've Been Everywhere Healthcare Edition, that's one of Johnny Cash's songs where he rifles off all the cities right next to each other like that, and I do all the side effects. But yeah, I love that. I love Johnny Cash for sure.
I think the last time we talked, I mentioned that you seemed to be a little combo of Bob Dylan and Hank Williams Jr. Now I'm going to throw in Johnny Cash with that mix too. So
I ain't mad about it. That's cool.
Talk about that group that was recording with you.
Cool, yeah, man. So they're all over the album, all over Volume 1 and Volume 2, which Volume 2 is still in the works, but it's over half done.
Okay.
But so on bass there you'll hear Zach Clark. Zach Clark is a really great bassist. Jazz, rock, country, anything, you name it, he's wonderful. And so he's been playing with me on all these acoustic shows that I've been doing. And the guitarist in there is Sam Golden. And we recorded it in his basement. He has a really great studio in his house called Holiday Heart Studio. And that's where a lot of this album was recorded, most of it. And he plays guitar and fiddle and accordion, and he's a really great musician.
Very versatile.
Yeah, I've been working with him in the past, even on other albums, band albums. He's done string sections for me, recorded entire and wrote entire string sections for songs. And really talented guy. And so on the show, it's just going to be the trio.
Okay.
Me, Sam, and Zach, but we have a special guest. It's always fun to have a special guest.
Right,
we have just a great, amazing piano player, Alexandra Sinclair, and she's going to come in and sit in on about 4 songs, some of the really great songs we have planned.
Now, when you record, are these on multi-tracks, et cetera, et cetera?
So, yeah, we did a lot of layering for this album, but we did, like that song you just heard, that was all live.
Okay.
So we just had a big mic in the room, and then everybody's stuff mic'd up individually, and we cut it. That was maybe the 3rd take or something.
Isn't that simple?
Yeah. And especially when you're working with those guys, they're really good. They make it easy.
It's fun to work with really good musicians, isn't it?
Man, it's so great. And it makes me feel really special and privileged to be able to do that, and just grateful. And all the time when I work with them and my Coyotes band and everything, they're all so great. I'm just like, wow, thank you guys so much for...
You don't even have to, and we mentioned this in the last interview and conversation we had, that you don't even have to think about you're accompanying each other. We did talk about that, so I don't want to get back into that. Folks, you can catch that interview. Just go into the search engine and check out our previous conversation.
Speaking of the band, though, and the lineups for the various groups I've been playing with, we do have a lineup change.
Really?
We had a lineup change. We just celebrated our keyboardist, Tony Hall. It was his last show with us Saturday.
Okay, wow.
And we have a new piano player, new keyboardist, Dan Turner.
Okay.
Is stepping in. And we also have a new fiddle player.
Okay.
So Sam, who you heard on guitar on that, is a great fiddle player, and he's stepped in with us on fiddle, and he'll be going with us on that tour coming up to Europe again in November.
What?
Dan Turner is too. So we had a lineup change there, but it's I love Sean, I love Tony, but we've had like just a different outlook on what the future is going to be, and so now we have 2 new guys, and they're great. And
things change along the way.
Oh yeah, it's all going
life
wonderful.
Goes on, right?
Yeah.
So now, talk about this Europe trip, but before you do that, you got a show coming up in Effingham on September the 12th.
Oh, we should definitely miss it. That's going to be a great few weekend, really. We're only on the one day.
Okay.
But then we have a show in Indiana the next day at the Slippery Noodle in Indiana, which will be really fun. Yeah, I hear it's a really old venue, and it's a really cool spot. I've never played there, but looking forward to that. But yeah, so Summer Sundown Festival in Effingham. These guys, for Pos Music Works, they have been doing they do the Little Grassy Get Down. There's a few other festivals that they put on in Effingham. And I think they're doing a really great job, man, bringing in national acts and locals and getting St. Louis over there all the time.
Indoor-outdoor festival?
It's going to be outdoor.
Okay.
There's 2 or 3 stages. And, we have a really great slot. It's at 7 o'clock.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, sandwiched in between 2 other really great artists. And
excellent.
Yeah, we're looking forward to that.
Now, let's delve into the European tour. Are you going back over to Germany or?
Uh-huh. And we have our first show. I'm so excited. We've been over there twice with the band, and I just got back from the solo tour. But I've never had a show in Amsterdam, but we finally have a show right in Amsterdam City.
Okay.
This time, which I'm really excited about.
Going to play along the canal or something, or in a coffee shop? Or?
I hope so. Yeah. I can't remember the name of the venue, but I don't know how to pronounce half of the venues, to be honest. So, yeah, we're going over for 2 weeks, full band, and I'll be playing. There's plenty of opportunities, too, to slip in some of these songs. I'll be definitely playing some of these new songs off of the acoustic album, too.
Now, do you have to make your own hotel arrangements, or do you have somebody who handles all that stuff? Not a manager type, but...
Yeah, we have to make them. But sometimes they're offered. Not quite half the time, but maybe almost half the time they offer a free hotel for us.
That's great.
Yeah.
Wow, that's wonderful. I'm sure they also say, hey, stay in this place because we've got a relationship with this hotel or these restaurants, et cetera, like that. Only helps them out, too.
Yeah. Seems like it's a really tight-knit community there with the musicians and the venues and places like that around. We're really excited to go back to the Buckhole Saloon, which is in Atlantsburg. It's right near Berlin, so we'll get to spend time in Berlin. And that venue is really cool. They have a hotel on site, and last time we were there, they were just so nice. They cooked us this really great meal. The guy's wife made this wonderful meal and had hotels there for us. Already, we just walked from the venue right to the hotel.
That's great.
And it was a beautiful town. Yeah, it's like a dream going over there, and I don't really intend to stop. I think I'm going to keep going with the band and solo and making that just part of my musical life, going there all the time.
So one of the questions I've been meaning to ask you, and a lot of musicians get asked this question, who did you listen to growing up? Who do you listen to now? Sure.
We'll start with right now. So here's one big influence for this album, and I think this influenced the sense of humor on the album, which I've always had in the writing, but I don't think it's came through as much than it has on this album. And I've been really in touch with this John Prine, Lost Dogs and Mixed Blessing album that came out in 1995. One of his later mid-career stuff. Mm-hmm. But it is so funny and so clever and like heartfelt. It's one of those albums that'll make you laugh out loud and also tear up. So that was a big influence, I think, for my writing lately. And I've been listening to a lot of Sinatra, of all things. He's great. Reading his biography and getting in touch with that era and that singing and those songs has really done something, inspired something. We'll be playing a Frank Sinatra song at the show. Not to spoil or anything, but Tom Waits has been a big influence lately. And it's hard to go back and cover all the early stuff, but I'll just say the very first song that actually made me feel something, that moved me, was a cassette tape that I found on my dad's dresser. And I put it in my Walkman, and it was Tim McGraw's song, Don't Take the Girl, which is a sad song.
It grabbed you.
Yeah, I was probably 10 years old. And this just sad story song called Don't Take the Girl really I understood the sadness of it for the first time, like in a song. And it was like heartbreaking. I remember I was like, wow. I was like, I didn't know songs could do this.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So it wasn't the melody.
It was the topic. It was the lyrics.
And as a 9 or 10-year-old,
I think it was because my parents at that time were going through divorce.
Okay.
My mom was living somewhere else at that time, and I think, to get personal about it, my dad was going through something, and I think that song meant something to him. And so it really took all that culminating for me to connect the dots on that. I feel like if I would have just found it at random, I might not have been interested in it.
Yeah.
But I think there was a lot of sadness around at that time. And so I made the connection on why the song was there. And so it really touched me, yeah.
That's wonderful. It's one thing I really appreciate about you. You're very open and honest about the answers that you give. You don't hold back. A lot of, I don't want to say musicians, but a lot of people, they keep a little guard up. They don't want to let the guard down and let people in. And that's what I enjoy about the show. And we can talk at length about things. And you've been on before, and I think you feel comfortable about coming back and talking about all this stuff.
Yeah. This is the time, I feel like, to express some of these things to people that want to hear it.
And you're doing that through your songs, too.
I try to.
Yeah.
I try to have... Some of them are disguised with sense of humor. Some are names of other people. That's interesting. So there's a song on Volume 1 and Volume 2 that I have. Volume 1, there's a song called Billy and Rita 1993. And on Volume 2, there's going to be a song just Billy and Rita, period. And I have other songs with these characters that are in there. And they're not always the same people in each song, but they're what I imagine the two St. Louis people. I do have an uncle named Billy and an aunt named Rita, but it's not them. They just always take the name, and there are a couple of characters I can use to embody these St. Louis characters.
So if you're listening to the evolution of your albums, you can see the evolution of these characters that you're developing along the way.
Well, you can see different versions of these characters, and
Okay.
I think you'll make connections with them, possibly, to people that you know, or people that if you've lived here in the city, or maybe not, anywhere, in any city, town, or something.
We are so glad that you came in. Folks, if you want to get tickets to Nick Gusman, plenty of room at Joe's Cafe, August the 28th. You can go to TickPick, and just plug in Nick Gusman, Gusman, plenty of room. This is at Joe's Cafe, which is at Chrisman Studios on Kingsbury, 6014 Kingsbury, 6014. Doors open at 7 p.m., 8 p.m. is the show, BYOB, BYO. Bring your own food, or is food there?
Yes, bring anything.
Okay, please don't park on Kingsbury. And again, no talking over the music. No talking over the music. Nick, thanks for coming in again. It's great to see you. Appreciate everything that you do and the work that you do in playing music here in St. Louis, nationally and now internationally.
Heck yeah, you too. This was great.
Folks, that's all for this show. We really appreciate you listening. I want you to go check out Nick's albums and take a listen to what's going on there. Thanks for listening. If you've enjoyed this episode, you can listen to additional shows at stlandtune.com. Consider leaving a review on our website, Apple Podcasts, Podchaser, or your preferred podcast platform. Your feedback helps us reach more listeners and continue to grow. I want to thank Bob Berthasell for our theme music, our sponsor, Better Rate Mortgage, our guest, Nick Gusman, and co-host Mark Langston, who's on assignment. And folks, we thank you for being a part of our community of curious minds. St. Louis in Tune is a production of Motif Media Group and the U.S. Radio Network. Remember to keep seeking, keep learning, walk worthy, and let your light shine. For St. Louis in Tune, I'm Arnold Stricker.